Hi folks, here's the garden so far. Well, this isn't really part of the garden. It is part of the garden, but this is the year that I just let it go wild with weeds. And you can see here's a couple onions that I didn't pull out last fall. They're doing okay. And the rest is filled up with weeds. And down in here, there's a few garlics that I missed. Or if they fell apart, I suppose. And they're coming back up this year. There's quite a few garlics in here. Not very many, but a few. So now let's move over to the area where I am using as a garden. You can see here, these are squash. It was a very late start this spring for the garden. But overall, it's looking pretty good. Everything seems to be doing well so far. There's no flowers yet showing themselves on these squash. There's multiple types of squash in here. You can see no flowers yet. No pollination needs to happen quite yet. And here's a little experiment that I did. I just took a pile of dirt and put it on top of the tarp and held it up and put some more squash there. And I'll show you the garlic. That was planted in the fall time. Here's the garlic that was planted in the fall time. It's doing alright. I removed the seed pod. Put more energy down below to get a bigger garlic. Oh, and here's the seed pod that I missed. So I'll just break that off right now. Actually, these are pretty good. I don't mind chewing on them at all. After breaking that, my hands smell really nice. Well, I like the smell of garlic. Some people don't like the smell of garlic, but I really do. And here's some more squash. Not doing quite as good as these ones. Each box I have is basically a different type soil, and it really clearly shows itself. Here's a box here with it's kind of a sandy soil, and the pepper plants, they're not really doing very good. They're kind of small. They got little flowers, and they actually have some peppers starting to shape up, but they're just a tiny little plant. So I'm thinking that this soil, the peppers didn't really like all that much. And I have a couple last year's potatoes. I guess I missed a potato and it came back this year. And there's a couple of them. There's another one there. There's another one there. And there's another one there. And there. And over there, I put some carrot seeds in there, but they never came up, never sprouted. I had an awful time with squash seeds, trying to sprout them indoors. So I ended up just planting them out in the soil, and this is what ended up happening. They just really took off. Multiple kinds. Oh, look at that. I have a stinging nettle plant, right? Where is that one? Right there. I'm going to touch it. I'm probably going to get a stinging finger after because the oils that are on that plant, but that's okay. The sting's not all that bad. There's a couple more in there. I'll pull them out later. They say if you boil a stinging nettle, you can eat it. Never tried that yet, but one of these days and one of these years I will. Now here's another little plot that I had some cabbage in, but looks like the wild rabbits are keeping them trimmed up pretty good. Not much growth happening. It seems like they grow a bit and then the rabbits come back in and devour them. So I'm not going to have any cabbage here. And here's some friend of mine. I don't remember the name of this. It kind of smells like a celery. It's like a wild celery. It's celeric, or I'm not exactly sure of the name, but if you squeeze it smells just like celery. Nice smell. And here's some potatoes. Doing not so bad. There's some flowers starting. And here's some red cabbage. Now these ones are a little bit higher up off the ground than this type. So I'm guessing that the rabbits didn't locate these ones, or else I imagine they'd be chewed up too. And here's some more peppers. And this is a pretty decent soil. I don't have very much luck with pepper for some reason. I don't know why. Must be something I'm doing wrong that I haven't figured out yet. But I'll keep trying different methods and see if I can increase my pepper luck. There's some more potatoes. Flowers. These ones here are doing quite well compared to the last patch I showed. And here's another patch. The thing with raised beds is you really have to do a lot of watering because the dry out comes quick, especially when the rain's not very plentiful. So the adding of water definitely needs to be there to get good growth anyhow. And obviously to get a good production of whatever that's going to be. So here's some pole beans. I have to get some poles or something for them to climb up on. I have time yet for that. They actually haven't been, they're maybe 2 weeks old. And tomatoes, no flowers yet. They're about 2 feet tall, maybe 2.5 feet tall. Well, there's a couple flowers. Very late year this year was. Here's some more pole beans. And then here's just some green beans. They're doing pretty good. Then I have some eggplants. They're doing okay. They're starting to come along pretty good. Seemed like they took a long time to get going though. But our weather this year has been a little out of the ordinary. And here's the famous Compost Tea. Boy, does that have an odor to it. And it's basically just grass clippings, weeds and all the rest of the stuff. But the plants seem to really, really like it. And that's what I use as the fertilizer. That's all I use. So what you see there that I'm growing, that's basically, this has been used. I don't agitate it or add air to it or any of the above. I just mix it up like I'm doing now with a stick. That's all I do. Let it ferment, let it do its thing. Go through its rotting process. That's all I do. Seems to work okay. And then I have a really nice horseradish. So that's how the garden's doing so far, folks. And I hope your garden's doing good. For those that grow a garden. And for those that don't grow a garden, well, it's never too late to start. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you have not. And thank you very much for those that already have.